So move on down to old business, the SIA grant, Fitchburg Industrial Park Road update. Do you have anything on that? Have you seen them working out there, Charles? Are they making any progress?
As far as the
Fitchburg
what
Road.
they've been doing,
Yeah,
it's done to me.
Yeah.
it's done. Very well.
They've already done guardrails too.
Okay, good,
Yeah,
good.
They went in and did the rotation.
How's it look?
very good.
Good.
Sure does.
You been out there, Larry? Fitchburg Road?
Yes,
I was up there Friday.
looks
Good,
good.
except for the under the railroad underpass thing.
Yeah.
I paid.
They couldn't.
Not permission from the
Yeah, they
railroad.
didn't get permission to do that, but,
So,
That's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
The railroad likes to tie things up for some reason, but, it'll be fine. If they eventually get permission, I think they may.
I don't know that they're going to, I think that, they're gonna expect us to pay. But
Okay,
It's just like 30 foot.
yeah,
Yeah, 30, 40 feet's all it is, yeah.
excited that.
But they did feather it in there, so there's not really a bump there much or anything.
But it'd be good, cause it's gonna crack up, it's already pretty rough shape. So
I know the county, Danny's looking for a paving machine, and if we can get one, then maybe in the spring we'll get that taken care of. Hopefully. If not, and it gets real bad,
If the
we'll.
railroad will give you permission.
Yeah, if it gets real bad and we get permission, we may just farm that one out also. Oh, good, I'm glad, I didn't know that, I'm glad they're getting that done. Public comment, do you have any comment, public?
Let's stand mum.
We'll limit you to 3 minutes. for
Okay.
staying mum.
I yield my time to the mayor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. Any new business? Do you all want to talk about all that?
66, have you heard anything?
Oh,
from them?
yeah, 66, they have released the plans for the initial comment from the utilities. I think we've got a Zoom meeting on the 19th of October, to see if there's any conflicts with the utilities and all that, so they can try to make adjustments. So they're progressing. My understanding, I think they may be already looking about purchasing some right of way. I'm not sure on that, but they are finalizing the plans on these, so. From the looks of it, most of it stays along the current road, but there are a few areas where you've got some real sharp curves where they're straightening the road out and moving it, so it's not as curvy. And of course, they're putting in a center turn lane all through the middle of Bulls Gap. And then they're gonna put shoulders all the way to where it ties back into, where the road stopped at near, East Tennessee Iron Metal. That's where it'll tie back into where you have shoulders up there, so. And then there's a couple places where the shoulders will be narrow, where there's two historic farms that they are not gonna go as wide on the shoulders on there.
Okay.
I think the road will not move much in those areas, but, like I said, there's a couple places with real sharp, they're relocating the road quite a few instances to straighten it out, so.
Okay. Good.
So, now, how far beyond the plans
Yeah.
to start, I don't know, but at least they are making progress.
Yeah, well, I wish Mike Solomon was here. He's been on
Yeah.
about it, and it's good that somebody from the county staying on them about it, because we're always on bubbling under that list of projects to get done.
I'll try to forward you that email if you
Okay.
got it. It's not the plans itself, but it gives you the site access and the password to get into it. It's like 460 something pages, the plans are.
Okay.
But
Yeah, spare time reading.
I'll forward that to you.
I'll print it out. Really true.
Well, there's about 20 of them, 25 of them are the pages where you actually see the alignment, which is probably what you want to let me
Okay.
see that, and I'll get that forwarded to you.
Okay, good deal.
My understanding that Bill Lyons and Calvin Clifton attended the last session.
Right, and Mike did too.
Mike,
Solomon
yeah, Mark,
did too.
Mike, is actually
The
chairman.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mike is convinced, and I know he's right, that the more noise we make, the better off we're gonna be with state paving projects. So I'm glad he's on that and working toward that. You mentioned right away, it just reminded me, I don't know if it's new business or should be in my report, I know I didn't put it in mine, but the easements for the new water line at Pink Hill have all been signed. And Scott County is just waiting on the state of Tennessee to say it's all right for them to build. And it's happened before. Virginia utility districts have built in the state of Tennessee, so it shouldn't be an issue. But we finally got that one moving forward. And we're also moving forward on a project to put fire hydrants on Stanley Valley Road and some of the arterial roads out through there. That was ARPA money that we allocated a long time ago, and they finally figured out where they're gonna put them and such. They're gonna be the 4-inch kind instead of the bigger ones. Because you can't run a pumper from one anyway with the pressure that's out there. All you can do is fill a truck. But putting in 4-inch instead of the bigger ones, I think there's gonna be 1 or 2 bigger ones, but the 4-inch ones, are putting in 18 versus putting in 9 of the bigger ones. So Kelsey and them at the Rogersville Water Department are starting to work on that. Any other new business? All right, hear me talk for a little bit longer. We're gonna do community reports, Hawkins County. You all probably already saw in the news, Northeast Tennessee Regional Recovery Center, we're calling it NET RRC. The ribbon cutting was held mid-July. The facility is available for Hawkins County assignments for recovery people. It's up at the whole, the name of that facility is a jail, Road Mountain. And it's nice. And going back up there this coming week for a meeting, they're gonna have their first patients in there. So I'm gonna go up there and check that out. We have, along with Nancy, applied for a grant for renovation of the inside of the Clay Kenner House. It'd be great if we can get it. We have to have a business in there, but it's gonna be a couple of years before we get that finished. We have not heard back on that one yet, but I don't think there's any reason why we won't get that to you. Okay, and it's $500,000. Yeah. We are continuing quarterly meetings of the Hawkins County Memorial Hospital Advisory Board. If y'all ever have anything that you need me to bring to that meeting concerning ballot, just let me know. We do that on a quarterly basis, and they're real accepting of any ideas that any of us have. So if you have anything on that, just let me know. On July 21st, I coordinated a visit to Camp Hope for Senator Marsha Blackburn. She toured, went around, and Craig and Talia Otto showed her a lot of areas that they would like some help with, and she's working on some stuff over there. So that's Camp Hope. We are also continuing meetings with the Regional Juvenile Detention Center Board. The center's in Johnson City, and that building is in dire need of being replaced. So on down the road, we may have to do something about it. We accepted resignation of 7th District Commissioner Joey Maddox. Jimmy Riley, who's on the Bulls Gap BMA, was appointed to fill that seat. Still in negotiations with Hawkins County EMS to form a partnership with them. Got news from them the other day that they have approved some changes to their bylaws that will put a different format of the board in place, and it looks pretty good. I haven't had a chance to really digest it yet. We had the county mayor's lunch on August 16th at the First Tennessee Development District. Hawkins County Archives, we got a grant for $3,000 for there to put in some new shelving and storage and things like that. We've already put in a new microfilm system there. So we're trying to bring them up to date. We put some dehumidifiers in there because they felt like it was destroying the paper in there. So we've got that under control. We had an open house at the Holston Business Development Center. I didn't get to go. Did you go, Nancy?
Yes, it was really nice to have. They had a great turnout.
Good.
Had a lot of people. The development district was there. Our representatives were there. Had a lot of the past people that had been there and that had incubated in there, and so a lot of those came. So it was a great turnout for it.
Good. Been working with Eastman, to see if we could get a better return on our plastic recycling, going back and forth with bids on that. That plastic recycling return is way down from what it used to be. I mean, they used to pay a whole lot more than that. TVA is meeting with us to see if we can provide some sort of trash cleanup on their public access. I think that's kind of at a dead end because they don't want to give us a whole lot of money, and that would cost us a truck and a couple of workers. We had, September 14th, we had ribbon cutting with the Chamber of Commerce up at the East Hawkins County Complex. That building, if you haven't seen it, you need to go. It's a nice building. Hearing a lot of good comments from the community up there, and all the workers are enjoying it. We are in the process of installing new phones in all the county offices. Typical glitches when you're installing new systems, but everybody's been replaced. But I think the assessor's office and the Justice Center, but that's all in progress. We've gotten some solid waste grants for convenience centers and used oil grants, working on those. As you know, Amy Skelton was appointed temporary juvenile judge. She will be up for election in '24. So hopefully we'll get that straightened out. Right now, not the best situation. We're paying 2 salaries, but hopefully that'll be resolved soon. I'm working with a group called Persevere Now to be part of their grant. And part of what they do is go into the detention facilities and work with inmates that are interested in learning a trade or learning some new things and so forth. I think that's important to reduce some of the recidivism rate up here. And that's in its early stages. Pretty cool event at Cherokee High School. It's called On My Own. The freshman academy ran all their kids through. They were given a piece of paper that had their job and what they were making and what the deductions from it and all that. And then they had to visit each station. Mine was, they had to get housing, either rent or buy, and get insurance for whatever they did. And then they had to get a car or some form of transportation. And another one, they had to, there was even one that was kind of like, you didn't know what to expect. They threw a curveball at you. And in fact, I think that's what it was called, curveball. So it opened a lot of eyes as to how they're going to spread the money out when, if it comes time. But I had a lot of good comments from the kids on that one. So that's about all I've got. If you want that for a minute, you can have it. Bulls Gap is not here. Churchill, what you got, Kimberly?
I guess I'll pretty much update you from last time. One for the Holliston Mills sewer pump that we are trying to fix. We're kind of working with Cardinal Glass, but we were trying to work with them. So what the city did was we ended up getting an ARC grant with the Appalachian Regional
Commission.
So we're getting a $3,000 grant from them. We're in the stages of actually applying for that grant, so I don't know how long it's going to be to actually get it. So that's going to kind of help offset some of the costs for Cardinal Glass. They're going to give us a little bit of a portion of money to assist us there, and then we're going to use the rest of our ARPA funds basically for the rest of our pump stations that we need to upgrade.
You said
300,000. Yeah, because it's another 50-50 match, so we need too much more. So we're going to use that as well, and that should be. We're hoping that we'll get the ARC grant, but we're going to try to get the project out for bid hopefully by the end of the year to start the process. Where tonight will be actually. Go ahead, and we've got the engineer on board, so only one person put in from the bid. So we're good on that track. So we have our engineer in place, and then the park project is kind of being stalled because the architect, one gentleman that was working had left, so he promised, one quote for stuff for the project to be done, and now the new one's taken the new hires. I'm not sure if they're actually new hires or actually the people that started to take over the project. They've really overquoted what we were originally quoted on price, so we're kind of working on figuring out how we're going to get the extra money to get that park going. But our plan is to at least start something and have either we're going to do a parking lot. Of course, the roadway to get to the parking lot will have restrooms and a pavilion. That's our first stage that we're going to do on that new park. And hopefully we can get that started by the first of the year or a little later. That's what we're looking into. And I was officially made city recorder. I was
gonna say, they gave you a new
I
title.
finished my CMFO courses, so
Okay.
so I'm certified now to do that. So I'm trying to work the finances and get it back on track. And now that the mayor finally knows where we are on finances, we're trying to get our ducks in a row and start taking care of some things that we didn't realize we had money set aside for. And nobody wants what. So we're still kind of in those stages too, trying to figure out where we are financially to keep moving. And the paving projects we did, of course, we're on hold for Grandview. We wanted to do that whole road in Grandview. Of course, we got to wait on that for the utilities to do their work first. But we did one road in our Island View Drive. We had one road that we had to definitely expand, and we got that done, and so the residents are with that. Right now, it's just trying to make the residents happy in the meantime.
Sounds like progress.
We're working.
Mayor Shaw from Kingsport told me yesterday that he couldn't be here. He had a conflict. Mount Carmel isn't here, Rogersville isn't here, Seguinville isn't here. Rogersville, Hawkins County Chamber.
Okay, we've been real busy doing lots of things, attending a lot of meetings. The state's doing a lot of putting together these rural conferences, trying to see, kind of meet and greet, to see what our needs are for the communities. Attended one in Johnson City last week, I think it was, and it was a great conference, great information. Got to do some roundtables with them to get some information out about what we needed, and they could look at different grants that would be available for us to be able to use. And so we were really excited about that. Rebecca and I both attended it. Then I attended the Main Street program, and we went to Elizabethton one day and Johnson City the next day, and got some great information from there. They're also putting a lot of grants out. We have one grant with them for to finish up St. Mark's, to make a co-worker space, and we actually went and visited a co-worker space. So I got to look at that and see firsthand, and made some good contacts there, so that when we do get ours going, that we'll have some help getting it up and going. Also, we applied for a grant for the St. Mark's to get that completed, and we received we did a USDA grant for the furnishings for it, and we have a historic development grant to complete the inside of it. So hopefully we'll be notified by the end of this month, or the 1st of November, we applied for $300,000. Then we are also applying for a placemakers grant, because unfortunately the Main Street program is very poor, and they're going to allow us to match with those two grants. So that's going to be a great help for us to do that. We just want to keep your fingers crossed that we get those grants. Are in the process, we completed the second phase of the Power Law Office, and it's in the process of, as soon as the grant comes out, the end of October or 1st of November, we'll apply for another grant to start on phase 3. Slowly but surely, just, like I said, eat the elephant one bite at a time. So that's what we're trying to do. We also just come out of 3-day event, Heritage Days, probably one of the largest Heritage Days that we've had in a lot of years. Kudos to the Heritage Association for the great job that they did. We had a cruise in on Friday night, which was our last cruise in from the year. We probably had over 5,000 people at that cruise in. Had 175 cars. So it was a great night. Our merchants stayed open late, and they had great Friday night and then a great Saturday and Sunday. We probably had Saturday and Sunday. We probably had between 30 and 40,000 people that was going through downtown at the time. We were laughing and saying usually when the UT ball game starts, everybody goes home. They didn't go home this time. They stayed with us. So it was a great event. We talked to the vendors. They said they had a great weekend. We talked to our local merchants, and they all had a great weekend. So we're going to take a break here for a little while and breathe. But we've hosted. We've got all the cruise-ins completed. We hosted another Jeep show. Had a great turnout for it. So just moving right along. We've had Slices of Jersey, the new pizza place up at the top of the hill, opened up Friday the 13th, and sold out of food Friday night. Tried to. They got some more food in Saturday, but had to end up closing early for that one. We've got another restaurant opening downtown where Hoagie Mogies was. It's called Hometown Italian. It's not going to sell pizza, but it's going to sell authentic Italian food. They're going to have wines to pair with the food. They're going to be selling spices and several other things. So I think it'll be a great addition to downtown.
Any clue in their club?
Well, they were trying to get open for Heritage Days, but same thing happened to Slices of Jersey. They're having problem getting some equipment in. So they're waiting on one more piece of equipment. I think it's the suppression.
Firewood.
Yeah, and so of course they can't open without that in place. So hopefully we'll get that done, and soon as it gets in, they're just waiting on it. They've got the people lined up to put it in. Let's see what else we got going on. Getting ready to gear up for Christmas and all the Christmas events coming up. All the Christmas parades are already lined up and ready to go. We're gonna decorate, downtown Rogersville on the 20th of November. So anybody that wants to come help wrap lights and put bows on or hang bows, wreaths, we'll be happy to have you. And then I'm taking a 2-week vacation. But we've had a great year. All of our businesses downtown have done really well. Talking with businesses throughout Hawkins County, they have all done well. I know Bulls Gap, with the events and stuff that they've been hosting, have done really well. Mount Carmel did the Fall Festival, and I was talking to John about it. He said it was a great event. Starting to get some businesses throughout the county. So we got the used to be Bell's Diner is going to be Southern. Oh shoot, I just lost it. Southern.
Is it Southern Comfort?
Southern Comfort, and they hope to be open in about 2 weeks.
That building looks really great.
Yeah, they've completely remodeled the building. They've had a little taste testing and had some people come out and try the food. Totally, Jeff, you and I are next.
Yeah, where's my invitation was lost in the mail.
I didn't get one either.
I didn't either. But anyway, and the people that did get to go said the food was absolutely fabulous.
And it's different.
It's different, yeah. You can do American, or the lady's actually from South Africa, so she's doing some dishes from there. And so you can do the American or you can do the South African, and most of the ones that did the tasting wanted to try the South African, and they said it was just, it's different, but it was really good. So, and let's see, I think that's all I've got.
Okey doke. Industrial board.
As many of you know, Kerry Jackson has struggled, and Kerry's been a right-hand man since day one, seems like, and so he's really being missed right now. We were talking this morning, we talked with Joel, the employee up there, about where to put gravel and things, and we decided we're gonna gravel down toward the shooting range, and that's also our emergency evacuation route. And so we felt like the $5,000 worth of gravel that the county's put the budget for us this year, that would be a place we would use it, to benefit everybody that way, in case there's an emergency, plus, just getting it, the traffic going down through there, even though that gate's usually closed. Anyway, we got the road rocked at our expense. We paid for it through the 15 joint venture up to the water tank, water tower, and hopefully, work is hopefully been scheduled for that, to clean it, paint it, and line the inside, however they do all that. The Savannah Utility District is in charge of all that. Plus, we understand they've opened bids, and I hadn't talked to anybody, anybody about who got the bids for the,
I called there, but she was on vacation.
the updates, to, hopefully build redundancy into the water system where there wouldn't be a complete outage like there was the last time. Hopefully all that's in the works, and I know they've been working with, Calvin and Madden and Craig on getting all that done, so we'll see. As y'all already talked about, the road pavement was completed. I know up there is in excellent shape. The guardrails that needed replacing are replaced. And the only place that, is under the railroad trestle. And hopefully we get the county to complete that, so we don't have a bump in the road up there. And I've heard conflicting numbers on how much, we were looking at almost $1.4 million. And I've seen all kinds of numbers out there, so I don't know what, but I know if we bid it, it was gonna come in something north of $1.25 million.
Last I heard, they stayed under $1 million.
And so,
So,
yeah, and so, I'm sure they got a better deal than we could get, and so we really appreciate the effort that, Nancy and Mark put in getting this thing done, and, saved the county a lot of money, a lot of tax dollars saved there, through the state. Project Heat is ready to be announced. We're just waiting on them to announce it for the last 3 months. It's amazing. Anyway.
And some government moves slow.
Yeah, evidently. Project Rock is ongoing. We had lunch with some of those folks last week. And I was very impressed with that project. If it comes to pass, will be something that people will be talking about
could be a good one.
in another lifetime.
They completed their funding yet, for getting funded.
Yes, they are doing this.
And so according to everybody that with TVA, because of the huge power usage with Holston Electric, with the state, everybody seems to be on board and moving. I was much encouraged with that. We also met with another associated company that wants to be with them if and when they come, and so we showed them a piece of property, and they do something, along.
Like a feeder operation.
A feeder operation for that, and so we showed.
Project Rents.
What's it called?
Rents.
Rents.
Rents, R-I-N-S.
Rents.
Rents the rocks.
Rents the rocks.
Yeah.
Leslie so.
We also, I know, Patrick and Rebecca showed another piece of property to a project up there, and, we're in negotiations with them. I guess the only other thing is I appointed a committee back about a month ago, looking into a battery energy storage system that there seems to be some interest in, from folks, dealing with TVA because of the size of that substation and everything. And so, we've met a couple of times.
I'm sorry I missed today, I miscommunicated on
Well, that's
location.
Rebecca's fault, I'm sure.
Well, I'm not gonna blame Rebecca, but, no.
Anyway, we met again today with that group, and, I think they're planning a visit to a site to look at it and to evaluate, you know, the safety aspects and everything for that project. This could be one of the largest, expenditures in the history of Hawkins County if it comes to pass. And so, I ran into Gary Hicks and John Lundberg, and they're interested in helping us with this thing. And Gary actually came to the meeting today, and so we're involving everyone that we can, because this is a tax generator of great magnitude for Hawkins County. Not a lot of jobs associated with it, but a heck of a project, so. Rebecca,
Warehouse is the project right there.
yeah, we've got another project that was submitted to their information to the state, so we can announce it until the state does their, evaluation of it and awards, or doesn't award, whichever the case may be. Any monies associated with it, but there's some jobs, and my understanding is they've signed a 5-year agreement there. And then the warehousing project, what was the name of that group that bought out, we met with them at Rogersville.
Technical glass, bought out technical glass?
No, they bought out, MIS.
Oh, we might ask,
It was, Mirror Metals.
yeah, Mirror Metals.
Mirror Metals. And we met with them. We had Rebecca put together a REAP program, in conjunction with Coastal Electric and TVA, and REAP stands for,
Retention Expansion Assistance Program.
and we do try to do this each year for all the existing entities to, make them aware of any changes that may be coming along as far as electric or gas rates or anything like that. And, or if they're having any issues. And so, it was a very well attended program at Coastal Electric, and we appreciate so much hosting, footing the bill for that. And, it's been a real active month, I'll say that, the last couple of months.
So the TVA mandate for, new power demands and shutting down within 5 minutes, is it still on the board? Is ROC's not concerned with it?
That was one of the questions I asked them, and they, I don't want to say TVA is changing. I think that, it's still gonna be there, because obviously they need power. They only need it during those extreme peak situations. And so, I think that TVA is working diligently to get some projects like these battery energy storage things, and these things to come online as quickly as they can. In the meantime, I'm sure they're trying to figure out how to able to handle it, and this is one way of handling it, is just saying, okay, if you sign up and you're above 5 megawatts, we can cut you off in 5 minutes. According to the I don't know what this guy's title was with this company, but he was saying that for safety reasons, they're going to have to build in some power generation of their own, because even, you know, if you have an act of God, like a lightning storm that knocks the power off, would be the same as TVA saying we got, you know, in fact, they give 5 minutes, you don't have 5 minutes if it's lightning strikes.
Right.
So he said, we're gonna have to build in so much generation just to handle the power because of safety concerns that we have. So, they're satisfied that they're gonna build in some generation. Generators of certain size and things. So he said that, and this program that TVA announced, do you remember what the date was?
Sunsets in 2029.
29 is what I had on my mind. And so hopefully, by the time this project would come online and get up and running, there wouldn't be much time later. This is not a short run project. This thing, if it's gonna be announced, will be announced maybe in the next 12 months. But then the build out and everything, getting everything ready would be a couple of more years. And so it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And hopefully, as time passes, TVA might roll back some of that a little bit.
I think TVA may have leaked before they looked on that one a little bit.
Well, it's the first time in 90 years that they've had to curtail power, so there's a lot of blame to go around on that deal, and I'm sure that they're doing everything they can to see that doesn't happen.
Rebecca, you got anything else from the industrial board?
No.
Tennessee Tech Center.
Basically 4 things I want to touch on. I'll start with dual enrollment. We have been able to keep our numbers up. I'm glad to say that we have about 1/3 of the entire dual enrollment population, I guess, for lack of a better way to put it, that is going on in our region right now. A lot of them in welding, a lot of them in maintenance. And so I'm real pleased with that we've been able to do that here in the county. And that's not just on my campus, that's also, you know, on the high school campuses. So I want to give kudos to, first of all, my instructors for taking on that responsibility, because that is just an additional workload on top of what they already do. And for high school teachers that step up and want to partner with us and teach classes and really have passion for CTE in the high schools around here as well. So I'm tickled with that. Numbers were down a little bit, but theirs have stayed pretty much status quo. As far as truck driving goes, I'm real excited about truck driving right now in terms of, and I know I say that a lot, but what we, and when I say we, I mean, again, me and the 2 instructors that I have, and of course TCAP Morristown, you know, leading the way with that. We are looking for ways to grow that program. We had one meeting yesterday, and I'm not going to mention any company names, but we had one meeting yesterday, and we've got 2 more coming from pretty good size trucking companies on all cases. Honestly, one of them I can't believe is even coming to our campus. When we started, they didn't want to have much to do with us. But now we're meeting, and what they want to do is our students are getting out there now, being placed. They're hearing what we do, and they want to be part of that by sending people that they're going to hire to us. And in most cases, that's going to save them about $3,000 a person. And they're getting the same, or in my book, better training than they're getting anywhere, whether it be Knoxville, Tri-Cities, or wherever. So there, I went ahead and threw some names out there. But anyhow, not necessarily competition, but I do believe in what we're doing. And things are going great, you know, looking forward. So that just, to me, as we met yesterday, I told the people we're meeting with, that is what's going to take us to another level, when actual companies are looking at us to train their people. And so that's the reason I'm doubly excited about that. Cosmetology, about 2 weeks ago, we had a reverse job fair in Morristown for our students in cosmetology, set up by our instructors at Greenville and my instructor at Hawkins County. And our girls were involved in that, our students, and most of them got at least 2 job offers out of that. They go in and they set up and they show what they've done.
Bunch of good girls, because my wife was one
Yeah,
of
yeah, and it was
the interviewers.
graduates, and we had anywhere from 16 to about 20 different companies, I think, show up and be involved in that. So tickled to death with that. In terms, I want to mention this specifically because of just what I've been thinking of and what, just kind of the landscape. We have put a gentleman on in our maintenance program up there on my campus that actually works in industry now in Morristown. I wanted to upgrade and am going to upgrade the PLC lab, the robotic lab, more automation, because what I hear as I talk to industry, they are really going to sell out in the next little bit to automation. And we want to make sure that we have people that will be the individuals that's operating that automation. And so I'm tickled to death with that. And I've tasked this fella with going out to industry, finding out what's going on. He can speak the language. He knows equipment, and he can see what we need to do to maybe even ramp things up a little bit here in Hawkins County. And then, when you listen to what Larry said, and you look at what's been, here, and the opportunities that Hawkins County has, then I think it's just smart for us to be in a position to be able to help that.
Good deal. Any questions for Charles?
Charles, what other opportunities do you see that would help us expand that campus? Do you have any classes, like a pipe dream class that you might be looking at, that we could look at to see?
Well, making some classes that we already have bigger. For example, there's, just to give you some exact numbers, for about 2.5 hours a day in my welding shop, and the shop's got 16 booths in it, there's 39 people in there. And that's when the high schoolers come in. Now, in today's world, high school age kids, when they see something, they want to say, that's the first draw. And so that would be number 1 on the list. And of course, truck driving goes without saying.
Yeah.
The sky's the limit for that program. And we've actually had some meetings and talked about some of that stuff. And then, what I'm saying here about maintenance. And you put it under the heading of maintenance, but more opportunities in that field to make our maintenance students more well-rounded. For example, I heard a rumor of an industry that's in Phipps Bend that will slowly do away with all their production workers. And I know that don't sound good, but, that's kind of the way it is, and go to maintenance people and management in that facility. Now, I don't know if there's any truth to that or not, but I have heard that, as I've been out and talking and conversing. So, and that may be on down the road way past how long I'll live or whatever, but, that's coming. So young people need to be ready for that. That's what's gonna be the case.
So they'd probably go to automation and robotics, which you're gonna have to have specialized jobs to do that.
Yep.
So what about, do you, I guess, my ignorance, I'm sorry, nursing, do we do nursing up there at all?
There was a time that we had a lot of phone calls and interaction about nursing in this area.
But you really don't have the facility to do it?
No.
Okay. What about, I know, with the shortage of police officers and things like that, and I read somewhere, I'm not sure which campus it was on, but training of officers. So we don't have anything like that either, do we?
And yeah, but now the one thing about that, with anything that's done in the criminal justice area, we need to make sure that it leads to jobs in those positions. And if someone has the want to further their education to get an associate's, or maybe even beyond that to go, you know, TBI, whatever, highway patrol, whatever, that would be the way, you know, talking to the school systems, that's one of the things that they're looking for, to promote that to their students.
So with the students you have up there now, what's their placement rate?
Well, of course, we have to play 70% continuously, and we're just looking at that today. Most of my instructors are somewhere in the 80% range with students that, and for different reasons. And, you know, we're rebounding, I believe, from COVID and all of that mess. And so, people are a little leery, but we're just now kind of getting our traction back. And, you know, our student population's up higher, and it's been, you know, since I can remember. And, you know, our dual enrollment stayed status quo, so I like that. And so all of my instructors in the 80% range. Of course, we want to place them all, but for various reasons. Kim, my cosmetology instructor, and I, we're talking about this today. You know, sometimes things just flat happen that causes a kid not to be able to finish, you know. And we hate to lose them like that, but we don't want to lose them because if we train them, we want to get them a job. We do everything we can to place them.
So do you still have a waiting list on your welding and all those classes?
Yes.
And your truck driving?
Yes. Yep, and I have, again, the call volume not went down. And, like I say, you know, this aspect of having, I think that's huge to have 3 companies that we're gonna meet with this month is gonna want us to train, and they've already got other places that are doing that now. So they're looking at us. And so I think that's huge.
You think Charles want 1 or 2 more trucks?
Well, you know, in 10 years, all the companies will be automatic, and we're manual. And so that, to me, that restriction then, that, you know, that the reason we got manual, so there's no restriction. But to me, that at that point, the restriction will go bye-bye. I know, I said this the last time, I know training for hazmat and passenger bus is coming. So, you know, anybody that, you know, and me and Brandon talked about that, anybody that wants their school bus license better get it now under the way they do it, okay? Because hours are coming that they're gonna have to take, and that's gonna be cost.
So are you doing any school bus training up there?
No, we don't have
Don't have
the vehicles to do that. And, but one of my guys, he actually was gonna take the passenger bus test the other day, and they were so busy at the DMV, they couldn't get him in.
Did you ever get the, where they would actually come down and be able to get their CDL?
We have, well, we're still taking our students to TCAP Crossville. We are actually transporting them down there. Now, both of my guys, we have the applications ready to go in for them to be examined, but that's up to the state. Whenever that department decides to have a class, we'll get them in.
Good deal.
That'd be a huge plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's huge, the fact that we, you know, even transport them, so yeah, that would be, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, that's one of the questions I get. Are we gonna leave the class with our CDL?